All right, so we're here at the Archery World in Troutdale, Oregon, meeting up with the sharpshooter Dave Copher, who was kind enough to get together with us and put together a bunch of really great data on bow speeds for the new 2024 lineup of bows. So we got all the popular models that Archery World carries, and essentially what we're trying to do here is get you guys an accurate reading of the bow speeds that you can expect to see. The reasoning is because we get asked all the time, what kind of speeds can I expect to see out of this bow? And you look at these bows with the IBO ratings, and we tell people all the time, that's not an accurate speed of what you can expect to see out of these bows. Because the IBO ratings are essentially, the longest possible draw length, the highest possible poundage with the lightest possible arrow. So it's not a very accurate reading of what you can expect to actually see with an average hunting setup. So we got all these bows set up at 29 inches, 70 pounds, and shooting a 456 grain arrow. Shooting with the whisker biscuit to keep it simple, with nothing but a string loop, no peep sight or any other weight added to the strings. Shooting all of them back to back through the exact same chronograph to give you all the most accurate reading on what speeds you can expect to see out of these bows. And Dave was kind enough to put together a really great spreadsheet with all this data that we collected, and I think you'll be surprised at some of the results that we had found. So without any further ado, let's get right into it, get these bows shot through these chronographs and show you guys the results. Alright guys, so there we have it, our top 3 speed bows for 2024. The Matthews Lift 29.5, the Hoyt RX8, and the Bowtech Core SR.
One thing that a lot of people aren't aware of is the standard used to be pretty normal across the board. Every factory followed all the rules to how to test a bow. Just like you would test a rifle speed or just like you would test a pellet gun speed. There was a set parameter on what you would do. It used to be 30 inches, 5 grains per pound that you were pulling, and then 70-pound bow with a 65% let off. That was the standard in testing. And as the let offs changed and people, factories started seeing what they could get away with and smudge a little bit longer draw length or a little bit higher poundage because that particular bow cranked up a little higher, they would test that. So it's hard and unfair to compare one to the other when they don't follow the same standards anymore. So people are always confused when they come in and they're asking about why is one faster than the other, or they think it because it's printed that it is correct. What is printed you'll never shoot because you can't shoot the bow in a setup position or a setup configuration in the way they test it because they don't put a beep in there or anything like that. So this allows us to set it up, like you said, a normal Western hunting arrow, 456 grain, a 70-pound bow, and a 29-inch draw. So if you're shorter than 29, subtract about 10 feet a second for every inch. If you're longer than that, you can add 10 feet a second for every inch. And that will be a good expectation of what you can get. We put a whisker biscuit on them again, so that helps us rob a little speed off of it for all the rest of the setup that we would normally do. And one thing that we want to make sure that we point out is that we're not sponsored by any specific bow company. We've had to shop for 25 years. We are offered bows all the time, but the reality is we pick and choose what we want to shoot from year to year. So I'm shooting the Matthews this year. Last year I shot a different model and a different brand. The year before that, a different one, a Bowtech, and then a Hoyt, and then a PSE, you name it, we've shot it. So the thing that everyone needs to understand is when they're watching YouTube videos and they're really leaning towards one product, you have to ask yourself if they're sponsored by them or if they're basically given product so that they can write good reviews about it. We buy the bows we want to shoot. We buy the bows we want to sell. So it doesn't influence us at all. And that's a big deal to us. That matters more than just about anything else. And since we carry 10 bow lines, we get to pick and choose how we're going to set up and how we're going to shoot from year to year. Next year, I don't know what I'll shoot, but this year it's a Matthews.